Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Minister, since we opened this meeting, the first meeting 12 years ago, I think, the world has changed so much, but I have to say you were always at the forefront of this change. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just think you were living 200 years back. It was the agricultural age. And then we had the first industrial revolution, with the invention of the steam engine, the second industrial revolution with mass production, electricity, the third industrial revolution with computers, and then the fourth industrial revolution. And I remember I spoke about the fourth industrial revolution when we opened this meeting in 2016. And now it's much more than just an industrial revolution. Similar to the transition from the agricultural age to the industrial age, we are now moving from the industrial age to the intelligent age. But there is one big difference compared to the first transition from the agricultural to the industrial age, where we had several generations to adapt. Now, this transition is happening at exponential speed. Everybody speaks about artificial intelligence, but just imagine what progress has been made just in the last 3 years. Now again, this country has been very foresighted. I think, Minister, you have since 2017 a Minister for Artificial Intelligence. So we are living in the transition to a new time, which will change everything. It will change how we communicate, how we work, how we live. In the agricultural age, the economy was mainly based on agricultural products. In the industrial age, industrial products and services, more and more sophisticated. But now in this new age, the base will be knowledge, data, and intelligent insights. What does it mean for governments? Governments have to be enablers of this change at lightning speed. They have to provide the necessary infrastructure. And they have particularly to cooperate with business, because this transition into this new intelligent age will only be mastered if all stakeholders of global society work together. Governments in the lead, business as the innovators, and of course civil society, making sure that this transformation is benefiting everybody. But governments have another big task and challenge: to produce, to help to produce the talents which we need to shape the intelligent age. Our capabilities, our knowledge base has to change tremendously in order to be competitive in this new world. Minister, you referred to education. Education will be the key. Now, what we have to expect, according to the research of my organization, is that 50% of jobs will be directly or indirectly affected already in the next 5 to 10 years by this revolution. But there's a third big role which governments have to play. Governments have to work together to create the necessary guardrails, the necessary ethical policies around those new technologies. They can serve for the benefit of humankind, but they can also do a lot of harm. What we are seeing today in the international efforts is not enough. Of course, my own organization is very much involved in creating the necessary understanding, but also the necessary to help the necessary policies around those new technologies. And it's not just artificial intelligence, it's also quantum computing, crypto, and so on. But we need more efforts, not just summits from time to time. We need a coordinated global process to make sure that those technologies are to the benefit of humankind, of everybody. Now, if we look at the future, Minister, you mentioned the lack of trust. Yes, if we look at the future, many people are afraid because the progress is so fast, so complex. Can we understand? I have to confess, even writing at the moment a book on the intelligent age, I don't understand all the aspects. So what is the consequence of not understanding? It's being afraid of the future. So governments have also the task to explain to the people, to be educators, to show them that actually those technologies have more opportunities than they entail threats. Now, the future is not happening. The future is shaped by us. The future is shaped particularly, and has to be shaped, through cooperation and collaborative efforts between governments, business, and civil society. The worst what could happen is not just we lose trust into governments or business. The worst what could happen is that we lose trust in our future. And the future is not happening. The future is shaped by us, as I mentioned. So let's look with optimism into the future. And as I said in Davos just 2 weeks ago, let's look at our future with constructive optimism. Thank you.
I think they are giving us the music, so we'll have time for one question. I'll try to make it 2. Should AI be treated like nuclear technology, requiring strict global governance?
No, AI is an enabling, it's a systemic technology. So it penetrates everything what we are doing. So governments have a big responsibility, particularly also, as I mentioned, in shaping the necessary norms and rules. And I would say we, in the past, very often we spoke about government officials as being bureaucrats. I would coin a new expression. Government people today have to be governance architects. They have to create the frameworks. They have to have systems thinking It's not anymore possible to look just at one element of the picture. What we need is a systems approach, and I think governments are very essential in defining the system and work with a systems-oriented attitude.
Sure. My second question, Professor, what quality will define successful leader in the intelligent age?
I would say what is very important today for an individual in order to survive and to not only to survive but to prosper in this new world. I think it is the what I would call curiosity, because if you are curious of what's happening, it's fascinating. Well, for me, it's fascinating what's happening in the world at the moment. If you are curious, you want to learn. And learning is essential, but there's one difference. We are faced with what I mentioned, exponential speed. And actually, we are wired in a way that we are much more apt to respond to linear speed, to linear change, but not to exponential change. Now, here, artificial intelligence can actually help us very much, because artificial intelligence can provide us with the capability to digest. If I take a pot, it can help me to deal with this very exponential change.
Professor, thank you very much. سادة الحضور، أتمنى لكم 3 أيام من المعرفة والشغف، وبإذن الله نراكم على خير خلال هذه الجلسات. شكرا جزيلا. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, man.